A new Netflix docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs is making headlines for its never-before-seen footage of the music mogul in the days before his arrest. Now, Combs is threatening legal action against the streamer for airing the unauthorized footage. Behind the series is Combs' longtime rap rival 50 Cent and director Alexandria.
Documentary, I think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G Unit.
We've hit a wild point where the line between revenge and justice isn't just blurred, it's straight up shattered. And the man swinging that hammer? None other than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who just dropped a 4-part Netflix shocker called Sean Combs: The Reckoning. This isn't your average documentary. It's what insiders are whispering about as a calculated takedown, crafted with precision and intent. Armed with Diddy's own private meltdown tapes, recorded just 6 days before his arrest, this series doesn't deal in rumors. It shows raw footage of a man spiraling right in front of the camera. You see him scrambling with his legal team, desperate for someone who's used to playing real dirty in the world of media to pull him out of the fire.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. Perhaps. What was he intending to use it for?
I have no idea.
All while his empire crumbles in the background. And the craziest twist, he recorded every single second of it himself. It's wild to think that the same man who built a legacy on power, luxury, private jets, and A-list parties ended up documenting the cracks forming in his own throne. According to Netflix, the tapes, legally verified and obtained by the Reckoning production team, show Combs holed up in a Harlem hotel room, looking frantic and disheveled. He's barking orders into the phone, his legal crew scrambling to contain an avalanche of accusations. At one moment, he snaps, shouting, "We are losing!" His voice breaks. It's a rare crack in that confident image we've seen for years. Then comes the chilling line. He asks for somebody that'll work with us that is dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business of the media and propaganda. It's a moment that screams desperation.
This and, tried to persuade Netflix not to come forward with it. I think it's an interesting argument because what they're claiming is, Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, has had a long-standing, animosity against Diddy and sort of vice versa. And because he's at the helm, they're arguing this can't be taken seriously. This should sort of be seen as propaganda. And one of the things that Netflix hit back with was, yes, he's the executive producer. He doesn't necessarily have creative control. And that's something.
A man realizing his PR battle is lost before it even begins. And now with 50 Cent putting this footage front and center, that private breakdown has become public proof for the world to see. This isn't just another documentary drop. It's the centerpiece of a primetime storm. But let's be real. This isn't only about a fallen mogul scrambling to save himself. This feels like the final explosion in a 20-year war between two heavyweights. The long-standing tension between 50 Cent and Diddy has always been personal, but this time, the stakes are higher than ever. Insiders close to the project say 50 didn't just find this footage, he bought it. That's right, he used deep industry connections, even reaching into Diddy's own inner circle to secure tapes that Combs allegedly planned to release for his own tell-all. The twist? Diddy had been documenting his life since he was 19.
And all these freak-offs with him, and he sounds really pissed off.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me, and you think I'm going to be, nah. You'll have a
building an archive of behind-the-scenes footage meant to shape his own legacy. But now, that same footage is being used against him. And that's the kind of irony you couldn't script if you tried. Instead of releasing his own story first, 50 flipped the script and turned Diddy's self-made archive into the ultimate counterattack. And the timing? Absolutely ruthless. Right now, Combs is serving a 50-month sentence in a low-security New Jersey facility. His legal team pushing for appeals, while several accusers continue to bring new lawsuits with serious claims of exploitation and manipulation. The public pressure isn't slowing down, it's only intensifying. But here's where things get messy. While Netflix swears this isn't a hit piece, Diddy's legal team is going full throttle, firing off cease and desist letters and accusing the streamer of using stolen content. They argue that some of the footage, especially private conversations between Combs and his attorneys, was never meant for the public and was taken under suspicious circumstances. Netflix, however, is standing firm.
So I think what Diddy was trying to say was, there's nothing to be done legally on the criminal front because no indictment had been dropped yet. But in the court of public opinion, it seemed like he wanted to take a more aggressive approach to put a certain message out there, and his attorney seemed to.
Director Alexandria Stapleton has publicly stated the footage was obtained legally and that the production is protecting its sources at all costs. Still, this isn't just a battle over what's legal, it's a fight over perception. The optics are brutal. The documentary doesn't just revisit old accusations, it paints a picture of a lifestyle built on control, power, and the belief that the usual rules didn't apply. And with the whole world watching, that image is now impossible to erase. There's one part of this whole saga that can't be brushed aside: the family angle. While Combs' twins and other relatives have stood by him publicly, even showing up at his trial to show support, insiders say the reckoning has shaken things up inside his circle. Word is the documentary hit close to home, sending real shockwaves through those closest to him. Unconfirmed but steady whispers suggest that some of his children were deeply upset after watching early cuts of the film, especially the scene showing his intense pre-arrest breakdowns. These are the same kids who just months ago poured their hearts out in emotional letters to the judge, begging for leniency for their father. Now, they're faced with a haunting contrast: the caring parent they defended versus the version of him shown in the Netflix series, a man seemingly more focused on spinning his story than facing the fallout. And the timing couldn't be more explosive. The documentary dropped right as Combs' legal team prepares for his appeal, while new civil suits keep surfacing and the public's obsession with his downfall reaches new heights. Every new detail adds another layer to an already complicated picture. But here's the big question everyone's asking. Is 50 Cent truly doing this to expose the truth and stand with the alleged victims like he claims? Or is this a power move? Personal vengeance wrapped in a documentary. Their feud is no secret, and the reckoning has thrown fuel on an already blazing rivalry. Jackson has said that staying silent would make it look like hip-hop was okay with Combs' alleged actions, but not everyone's buying that. Critics are quick to point out the long-running tension between the two, starting way back from Diddy's rumored shopping spree comment at Chris Lighty's wedding, which 50 Cent described as a hidden jab, to whispers about Diddy's involvement with 50's former partner Daphne Joy. Allegedly, Diddy even provided her with monthly financial support connected to his well-known private gatherings. And then came the leaked audio. Combs reportedly scolding Joy for ignoring him and threatening to stop her payments if she didn't get back to work. The implications are heavy. Combine that with the release of this documentary, right when Combs is behind bars and can't respond publicly, it's hard not to see how strategic the timing feels. Every move here looks calculated, and that's what keeps the world watching. The legal chaos surrounding this situation just keeps getting hotter. Combs' legal team is gearing up for more action against Netflix, claiming that using his private footage, especially clips showing talks with his lawyers, violates attorney-client privilege. But Netflix isn't budging a bit. They're standing firm, calling the reckoning a necessary expose, a deep dive into what they describe as a long-running pattern of behavior backed by years of evidence and first-hand accounts. And the show doesn't stop at those infamous tapes. The series reportedly goes much further, touching on everything from the 1996 Shakur case, where former associate Keefe D claimed Combs offered a $1 million bounty, to powerful testimonies from women like Joy Dickerson-Neal, who says she was taken advantage of and secretly filmed in the early 1990s. Every layer of this story peels back more history, more controversy, and more unanswered questions. Then there's the money trail, one of the most suspicious details yet. Insiders allege that in the days leading up to his arrest, Combs quietly moved millions overseas. If that turns out to be true, it could play a major role in the ongoing RICO investigation still circling around him. But maybe the most chilling part of the reckoning isn't what it shows, it's what it hints at. Because if Combs really recorded everything, what else could still be out there? The documentary teases the existence of a vault full of unseen footage, from those exclusive private gatherings to conversations with high-profile figures who have since cut ties with him. And now, with 50 Cent orchestrating the release of this Bombshell project, one can't help but wonder what's being held back and why. If this is truly a reckoning, then we're only witnessing the beginning. The first domino has dropped, the tapes are out, and the court battles are only heating up. Somewhere in a prison cell, Sean Combs is reportedly watching his empire crumble piece by piece. His once carefully crafted image now breaking apart on streaming screens across the world, one shocking frame at a time. But here's where it gets even more intense. Sources connected to both camps claim that the reckoning isn't just about truth, it's about payback. They say this isn't random timing or pure journalism, it's a personal strike, planned to land when Combs had no way to fight back. The production feels like a calculated move, one that some are calling a surgical strike on his legacy. The documentary doesn't simply air Combs' private troubles, it turns his own words, his own panic into ammunition. Each moment of distress caught on camera now plays out for the world to see, shaping a story that feels as deliberate as it is explosive. And while 50 sits back, letting the footage do the talking, insiders are whispering something even wilder. The most damaging material might not even be the tapes we've seen so far. Whatever's left unseen could make the next chapter even more unpredictable.
At the core of this firestorm are those pre-arrest recordings, where Combs is reportedly heard strategizing with his lawyer, Mark Aglow, trying to build a defense as the accusations pile up. In one tense exchange, he says, "We have to find somebody that'll work with us," his tone jumping between defiance and desperation. Then comes the chilling line. It has to be somebody that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business. Netflix insists the footage is legal and verified, but Combs' team says otherwise, claiming it's stolen and a massive invasion of privacy. They're even threatening major legal action. Still, one question refuses to go away. If these tapes were meant for Combs' own documentary, why didn't he lock them down? Was it arrogance, assuming nobody would dare turn them against him? Or something deeper, a belief that his influence could still keep anything damaging buried? Either way, the irony cuts deep. The man who built an empire on controlling his public image now has his most vulnerable private moments playing on millions of screens, with 50 Cent sitting in the executive producer's chair. And that brings us to the money trail, because this whole saga isn't just about revenge, it's about power. Rumors are swirling that in the days before his arrest, Combs was quietly moving large sums overseas. The documentary hints at this, but doesn't fully dig in. If proven true, it could tie directly into the broader RICO investigations that once nearly brought him down. Though Combs was acquitted of those earlier charges, prosecutors had already painted a vivid picture of a man operating like a boss at the top of a vast network, surrounded by loyal associates who helped maintain the illusion of control. According to insiders, the reckoning pulls no punches, diving into these alleged financial maneuvers and raising the possibility that those tapes might just be the beginning of what's out there. One former associate, speaking anonymously, even claimed that Combs had a whole network of people ready to handle problems, whether that meant calming down accusers or making sure certain things never saw the light of day. And if rumors of the FBI still probing into his affairs are true, these recordings could become the trigger for another wave of legal trouble. But the emotional side of this story hits just as hard. Combs' twins have been his strongest supporters, standing by him in court, delivering emotional statements, and even breaking down when the verdict was read. It's a heartbreaking image, devoted children rallying behind their father as the world turns against him. Yet some critics argue that it's also a carefully managed PR move, a bid to preserve whatever sympathy he still has left. Online, that contrast couldn't be starker. On one side, you've got Diddy the devoted dad, the family man holding his kids close. On the other, Diddy the mogul under fire, the man accused of mistreating partners and manipulating people for decades. The documentary doesn't shy away from that contradiction. It uses warm family moments to humanize him before cutting sharply to testimony and footage that show a much darker side. It's a storytelling choice that hits hard, forcing viewers to ask the same haunting question jurors once faced. How do you reconcile these two sides of the same man? The father who inspires love and loyalty, and the figure caught on camera, desperate to keep control as everything falls apart. The contrast is jarring, and it's exactly what keeps audiences glued to every scene. And just when you think the reckoning couldn't get any wilder, there's another twist. The so-called baby mama drama isn't just background noise, it's right at the heart of the story. 50 Cent's team reportedly leaned hard into the revelations about Daphne Joy, not only because of her past connection with Combs, but because of what it represents. The series paints a picture of a man who, according to several accounts, blurred the lines between personal life and business, turning relationships into calculated moves instead of genuine bonds. The documentary digs deep into Joy's alleged involvement in Combs' private gatherings, the rumored monthly payments, and even the leaked audio where Combs reportedly loses his temper. All of it ties back to one main point: the claim that this was never just about romance or power, it was about control. Every connection, every interaction seemed to serve a purpose, and the film makes that message clear. Then there's the public tension that followed. When 50's other ex, Shaniqua Tompkins, threw Daphne Joy's past into the spotlight, referring to her as a performer from Las Vegas, it didn't feel like a random jab. It was a reminder that Combs' world, for all its glamour, was built on secrecy. And those secrets always came with a cost. Nothing stayed hidden forever, and the reckoning is now dragging all of it into the open. The ripple effects from the documentary are already spreading fast. Misa Hilton Combs, her former partner and the mother of his eldest son, has reportedly been approached for her own tell-all, directed by none other than the reckoning filmmaker herself, Alexandria Stapleton. Leaked texts circulating online show Hilton in talks with the director, who allegedly praised her for all that you contributed to hip-hop and Bad Boy. If Hilton moves forward, it could open up an entirely new chapter in this saga, especially considering her long, complicated past with Combs. Her public appearance at his trial, walking in with a cane, was seen by many as a subtle but powerful statement, a mix of support and distance at the same time. Meanwhile, whispers suggest that other former insiders are now debating whether to come forward too, drawn by the media attention or the potential financial reward. In today's climate, staying silent can feel risky, especially when everyone else is talking. But the most jaw-dropping layer of all might be how the reckoning revisits one of the most infamous moments in hip-hop history, the Tupac Shakur case. The documentary doesn't just mention it, it dwells on it. It brings back the shocking claim from former associate Keith D, who alleged that Combs once offered a $1 million bounty for Shakur's hit. While that allegation isn't new, seeing it framed within the context of the newly surfaced tapes gives it a chilling new dimension. The film presents it as part of a larger pattern, a portrait of a man who, according to those involved, played both sides of the game, using wealth and influence to shape his world however he saw fit. And now, after decades of calling the shots, he's watching that same influence turn against him. It's poetic, tragic, and explosive all at once. A mogul who built his empire on control, now caught in a story where control is the one thing he no longer has. Combs has always firmly denied any involvement in Tupac Shakur's tragic unaliving, but the reckoning throws that controversy right back into the spotlight. The inclusion of the allegation, backed by Keith D's proffer agreement with law enforcement, shows that the filmmakers clearly think there's more to dig up. And if the LAPD's ongoing look into Combs' past West Coast connections ends up revealing anything new, this could escalate from a media scandal into a full-blown reckoning. But the most haunting detail isn't the allegations. It's how Combs' own obsession with documenting everything may have been his downfall. The documentary reportedly features clips of him recording himself in mirrors, venting about his accusers, and even joking about the legal pressure closing in on them. It's unsettling footage, almost like watching a man unable to stop performing as the walls close in. It paints the image of someone who couldn't help but film his unraveling, a mogul staring straight into the abyss and pressing record. The contrast between the public and private versions of Combs is jaw-dropping. On one hand, you've got the Diddy who partied with presidents, sat front row at the Grammys, and dated global superstars. On the other, there's the man behind closed doors, visibly shaken, angry, and trying to keep control while everything around him falls apart. That gap between image and reality is what keeps audiences glued to every second of the reckoning. And this story isn't just about his past, it's about what comes next. With new civil lawsuits piling up, his legal appeal looming, and now a Netflix mega-series keeping his name in every headline, the stakes couldn't be higher. The real question isn't whether he'll bounce back, it's what's going to be left when the dust finally settles. Will he be remembered as the visionary who reshaped hip-hop culture, or as the warning sign for what happens when power and ego spiral too far out of control? And don't forget, 50 Cent is still in the background, quietly watching as this all unfolds. Insiders claim there could be even more tapes, more recordings, and more secrets waiting to surface. With the tension between the two still unresolved, it's impossible not to wonder if this saga is truly over, or if the next round is just waiting to explode. So here's where things stand. A man who built an empire on control, image, and influence now finds that empire slipping right through his hands. One leaked clip, one lawsuit, one betrayal at a time. The reckoning isn't just coming, it's already here. But in a story built on decades of grudges, whispered deals, and unfinished business, one question lingers louder than ever. What's the real secret Diddy's still keeping? The one even 50 Cent hasn't revealed yet.